traders, welcome out to your market roundup for September 22nd. Corey here with you. We're going to take you through meaningful news, what's happening in the markets, what sectors are heating up and cooling off. We're going to highlight some new ideas, bullish, bearish. There's opportunity out there, so let's capitalize.
All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. This video has been released to the public after a delay required by our compliance department. Maverick traders receive this market recap immediately, along with real-time trading support and resources. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that backs professional stock and options traders with firm capital. Our traders keep 70 to 80% of the profits they generate. If you're ready to become a professional trader, click the apply link in the video description below. Let's break down what happened in the markets today.
All right, so as we come in and take a look at the markets, it's really kind of the same trend that we've been on. We start Monday, we kind of grind higher, and we just keep going up. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, all looking positive. Gold had a very robust day, up 1.7%. Gold mining stocks, they've been on an absolute tear. On the daily news front, NVIDIA is to invest $100 billion with OpenAI to build out data centers. They're going to need data centers for all of this AI. They're going to need energy, nuclear power plants, all these things to power AI. And 100 billion just doesn't sound like that much when you look at Nvidia, and it's a 3.5 trillion market cap or what have you. Oracle is going to take a co-lead of the TikTok here in the US. That stock was up sharply on that news. Advanced decline line, 53% of stocks advancing today. And the 50-period moving average continues to improve. Now 60% of stocks above their 50 MA. As we look at the S&P, the last 3 weeks I've said I think we're in the exhaustion mode. I think we're in the surging mode. And when you tell someone that we're in the exhaustion phase, that's code for be bullish. Now, it doesn't sound that way if something is in its exhaustion phase, but here's the argument that I hear from people sometimes that are traders, and they'll say, oh, the market's overvalued. It's in a bubble. And I say to them, if that's true, you're a trader, you're nimble. You should be as bullish as anyone. You should be capitalizing as that bubble is built. When it bursts and we move in a downtrend, you're nimble, you're fast. You'll be trading the downtrend and the remnants of it to the downside. So, if we're building an exhaustion like we've been talking about the last 3 weeks, you want to continue to capitalize. Because remember, the exhaustion wave is very similar to the breakout wave. If you were to look back on this S&P chart, there was a time where we broke from 5,200 to 6,000 sort of in a straight line. Well, now we're getting the end of that move. Is this the final stage? Yeah, probably so. And there will be a big correction and so forth. But before that's all said and done, you've got to get extended away from the moving averages. You've got to surge and spike. You've got to get all those shorts to cover and to reach their max pain point. You've got to get the Johnny come latelys to come piling in, so on and so forth. And that means more upside. So for the last 3 weeks, I've had that in, and I'm not taking it out. We are in that phase. Look at the QQQ. Recently went through a little consolidation, breaking out to the upside. Looks even better than the S&P from the standpoint of it sort of consolidated its gains and now breaking out. But both are definitely in that upward phase. As we look at the heat map, the biggest names continue to outperform. Apple 4.3, Nvidia up 4. These are massive moves on corporations that are $3.54 trillion market cap. Those are gigantic moves. It almost doesn't matter what so many of these other stocks do if Apple and Nvidia are going to be up like that. There's plenty of red on here. Some of the names that would be important, Amazon and Meta were a bit in the red. That's why the market didn't have an even more robust day. It was solid though. All in all, if you get the underperformers to start to perform and you get these leaders to continue to perform, we can see more upside in the near term. So let's look at some candidates here. We've got a full list of bulls and bears. A few charts, if we take a closer look, here's Caterpillar. So this is in the industrial space. I think we've had Caterpillar on here before, but it keeps popping up on the scans. Notice the upside breakout. You had a big base here. And if you're going to build a skyscraper, you need a solid foundation. Caterpillar certainly has that. Upside breakout on volume, not way overextended like other things because it consolidated after that upward surge. It spent over a month in this tight range. That builds a foundation to expand upon. So Caterpillar CAT looks solid. Micron, again, big basing pattern back here. Huge breakout on volume. Micron, SanDisk, some of these, they could consolidate here a little bit. And what I'd love to see from Micron is maybe a tight wedge up here, sort of a bull flag type of pattern, something of that nature. But it's going to be short term. It's going to be a consolidation and then more burst in all likelihood. On the downside, there's plenty of underperformers. A company like AMD, you think about all these tech names and the need for semiconductors and so on. Why on earth is this in a downtrend? Now, maybe it's going to, like we said, if the market continues to surge, it's going to have some of these laggards start to break higher. They're going to start to join the party. So I don't know if AMD is going to do that. It's almost a trade. You know, if you trade straddles and strangles, it might be one of those because if we break higher, it surges. If we break lower, it surges. Right now, I would anticipate a downside move because we're in a downward trend overall. And we've got Deere, you know, Caterpillars in industrials, Deere's in industrials, but very different price patterns. Descending triangle, low basing pattern here. The path of least resistance seems to be yet lower prices in Deere. So it's interesting. We have this bull market, but there's still some ugly performing stocks, some things that haven't started to participate as of yet. And so there's still some stock picking that can be done. As I said, I've had this in for multiple weeks now. Markets trending upward and creating the exhaustion spike. That's what I think it is. That's what seems to be happening. Core PCE, the Fed watches this. This will come out on Friday. They watch it closely for inflation numbers. And the reason they haven't been cutting rates more aggressively is sticky inflation. So that one is one that the markets will watch. We've got Costco. We've got Micron yet to report. Micron reports on Tuesday. So if you're going to trade that, if you're going to look at that as an opportunity, earnings will have an impact on the stock, no doubt, here in the near term. Hope you enjoyed the market roundup. Have a great week, everyone, and we will see you next time.